What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Discord Friday. I appreciate everybody for joining in. If you are brand new, I am an online training, for selecting, and my mentality is to get in, make as much money as you can, and get out. Now, I want to say for a lot of new people coming into selecting, you start getting into the whole rat race that I talked about. You see people throwing fast, making incentives, and then you see people working the overtime, and then they start talking about how much money they're making, and then it just starts from there, guys. So what you guys do is you start learning the process. Some of you guys skip ahead and try to hurry up and try to make money before you actually learn how to do the job. So learn how to do the job, make the money, and when you're making the money, don't do foolish things with your money, going out and causing more problems, with debt-wise. You should be in here to make as much money as you can, pay off those debts, do whatever you want, pay for your college or your wife's college, whatever you're doing, do it. But don't go and start buying more things because you're making more money, because then you're going to be stuck at the rat race. All right. Selection is not a career, in my opinion. You should get in there, make as much money as possible, and get out. With that being said, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on my videos. And guys, join Discord. You're going to get a lot of people's opinions. You're not just going to get my way, you're going to get other people's ways as well. And remember, when I put these pictures up, they are off of Discord. If you guys post your pictures on Discord, I am using them as a tool to teach others. So I am here to teach new selectors. So whenever I'm criticizing your work, you keep doing what works for you. If you're making your time and you're posting your work and I see something that I would do differently, don't take it with a grain of salt with me, okay? Because I'm using your palette to teach others. So join that Discord. That link is in the description below. If you guys want to support the channel, you could do either one of these. Let's get on to the breakdowns. All right, guys, so this first one right here, once again, and this person, I believe their name is the Slip Sheet King, so they know they use slip sheets. They are very comfortable with using them. For new selectors, this is, in my opinion, this is ridiculous. Remember, I started back in 1998. We were not trained to use slip sheets at all. Nobody used them. All the way up until about 10 years ago, no one at our warehouse was using slip sheets. This became a big fad in the last 10 years. This is just ridiculous to me. But once again, I'm not knocking this person. If this is what works for you, keep doing it. But for new selectors, if you have to rely on stuff like this, please just move on to another job. All right. I'm sorry for the person that posted this, and you joke around over there on Discord. You know that you like using slip sheets. That's fine. But you're a rarity that uses this much. I chuckled at the basket all the way at the top. Guys, do not look for slip sheets. 1 or 2 per pallet when needed. All right. And when I started about a year ago on this, I started reiterating when I would use a slip sheet. Okay. So if I do see an opportunity on someone's pallet to use a slip sheet, I do call it out. Even though I wouldn't, I still call it out. So this is just way too much. Please, I used 2 or 3 slip sheets in 26 years. All right, 2 or 3 slip sheets in 26 years. He does that on one pallet, probably within 10 minutes. So don't use this many slip sheets. All right, guys, so this first order I want to go over, and I'm actually going to blow this up a little bit. There's a lot of things that go with stacking onions, and I want to get right to this because the bags are real long, so they don't fit a 5 block comfortably on here. These are the one bags I tell you guys finger width should be hanging off the pallet. These are the one item probably that I could chalk up there is that you can't do that with because they are just so long. So if I only get a few onions, I will tend to column stack them. If I get this many, I probably 4 block them, or I will still try to work something out where I'm not hanging them off. So right here we got this, with the yams, we've got the lump going there. So I tell you guys in a previous video that these are real hard contents to move around, but sometimes you're lucky and you get an onion bag that's actually pretty flat. And then you get the ones that are crowned in the middle. All the onions are bunched up in the middle. And I told you I like to do CPR on them. I will lay them on the pallet, and I will push down as hard as I can to get the contents to move away from the middle and move to the ends. And that's going to level my bag out. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, that's just wasting time if you're going to do that to all these onions. You know what's wasting time is not doing it and having to deal with a pallet that's almost falling over, because then you start catering to your jack, you start catering to the pallet because you don't want it to fall over, and you're just going to take way more time than pushing down on a bag, because it literally just takes me a couple seconds to push down on a bag, and I'm going to get those bags as level as I can so I don't have this problem. So let's say I had 2 layers of onions and I had the yams coming up, and I I say my number and I'm seeing I'm getting a full layer of yams, I'm going to take the 2 bags of onions and I'm going to throw them off my pallet real quick. I'm going to put a full layer of the yams on, and then I'm going to take my 2 onions and throw them on top of the yams, call them stacked. Why am I doing this? Because once again, guys, something that just takes seconds is going to help you move faster throughout your order later on when you start getting all this weight. This is a ton of weight that is on top of the onions. This honestly, if these are peppers, I understand them being up here. If these are potatoes, they should come before the onions. That would be great, and it'll give you that that base that you need. But it's a possibility they are peppers. But other than that, I mean, yeah. And then your cantaloupes, I would have called them stack these as well. If these are cantaloupes or whatever these open boxes are, I would have not have put them on all 4 corners like you did. I would have called them stack these up. So guys, think about this. I know I'm taking some time with this, but this is really important because this happens a lot of time with this product. So get these as level as you can by pushing contents around. I promise, I tell you guys on every single order, the longer you take on the base, the faster you're going to move up here. So take the time to try to get these as level as you can. If you have to throw a couple boxes off, do so. Throw the yams on, throw the onions on top, call them stack these, and then you're going to have all these level boxes of yams to stack on. All right, do not space out open boxes. You always want them, call them stacked in a corner, usually the front corner for me. Other than that, this person did not build a bad pallet, but just a few tweaks of taking your time on the base, and this is going to just fly through when you get to the top. Any questions, leave them in the comment section below. All right, this is a beautiful dairy order, guys, and I swear this person just said they only been selected for 4 weeks, a couple months or something to that nature. Guys, stick to the basics. All right, you know, just stick to the basics, keeping light cases together, keeping your Fairlife in the middle with, you know, you don't want these on corners if you don't have to put them on corners, but keeping boxes on either side, you know, just light cases together, tying in when possible. We got to tie from a low corner to a high inside. Guys, once again, if this was down here, I would disagree with it, but it's up high. We're not putting a lot of product on, so we're not going to get that rock out as much. All right, so from here, you can see how we're higher. So we're going to rock out a little bit. Now, up here, we're almost done with the order. Not a big deal. But if that was down here, we would really be getting a rock out on there. So... but just a great job. And I believe this one's the back pallet of that person's order. I'm not 100% sure, or maybe not, because it looks like there's a pallet back here. But nonetheless, I mean, just a great looking pallet. You know, stick it to the basics, keeping the big cases on the corners, you know, smaller cases on the inside. See how we did it up here, guys, with these green boxes? All right. I mean, you could honestly, this high up the pallet, you could form a corner out of these boxes, but we did keep the, it looks like butter possibly that we kept in the middle there. Just a great job all the way around. Guys, up at the top, you want to put yogurt on their side, knock yourself out. If you're putting yogurt on its side in the area of this, you know, down here, let it be in an open slot. Don't put weight on it because it will crush the cups inside. But other than that, great pallet. We're sticking off over here a little bit. Remember, guys, if it don't fit, don't force it. If you put a case down, it doesn't fit. Like this one here, I personally wouldn't leave that case there. This is where I call the fingers width. Now, I told you with the onions, it's impossible, but with boxes, I go fingers width. If it's more than a finger's width hanging off the pallet, I'm going to either turn that case or I'm going to put it somewhere else. I'm not going to keep it there. I don't like cases hanging off the pallet, especially liquid, because if it goes on the truck and they're squeezing, you know, these pallets on the trucks, guys, they're and loaders, you know, they're ramming them in there. So you're possibly going to have damaged product. If we stay within the confines of the pallet, we are not going to have to worry about damaged product. All right, guys, anytime I see, you know, something like this, I always like to point it out. I mean, this is, someone said, I hate being in the out with a new high lift operator. And it's, guys, this goes for experienced high lift operators too. I've seen people with 10, 15, 20 years driving the forklift do this as well. And all this is speed. All right. You're in a hurry because look over here, guys. We got like easily a foot of room from the top strawberry to the rack. All right. And this is either two things. It's either we lifted it up, and guys, you got to be careful with your forklift. Sometimes you get a forklift where you hit the up button and it just like jerks it up. All right. So when you get on your forklift, if it's a forklift you never, you know, like us, we had like 20 forklifts. As soon as I get on, I start playing with the up and down. I'm going to get on. I'm going to play with the up. I'm going to play with the down. I'm going to see, how it is the reach working properly, the side shifting, the tilting. Is everything working properly on this lift? If it jumps up whenever I hit the up button, I'm usually trying to find another forklift because I know that's going to cause me a problem. So be careful with your forklift. And then also just take your time. I mean, so this is, like I said, two things. Either A, we lifted this too high and we just pulled out. And I always chuckle at the people that, lift up, pull out, feel resistance, and then they just keep pulling. Guys, if you ever feel resistance and you could feel it on a forklift, you should stop immediately, get off, and assess the situation. You should not be just keep pulling out of the rack. And the other thing is that we tried turning in the air, and we turned and we knocked this and we hit this pallet off the side of the rack. Those are the two things I'm going with. It's possible there was broken wood, or if it just wasn't wrapped right, or, it was a leaning pallet, because some of these strawberries come leaning, so it's possible that's it too. But more than likely, this person hit this off the rack and just kept moving. All right, guys, plastic pallet, hate it. See, perfect example right here why I hate plastic. So these two Tropicanas face inwards. Proper way of doing it: blue wood, red wood. I hate white wood because it's always broken, but blue wood and red wood, this would fit perfectly. Look how we're hanging off. Not only are we hanging off the pallet, but look how it is buckling the case, because it's hanging off the pallet. These pallets are not strong, and it is actually buckling this case. This pallet is beautiful, and I don't like this back here hanging off. Remember, guys, I do not like hanging juices off the pallet. And these two clear juices, I don't like hanging clear juices off because they're not a strong case to begin with. So it is a good pallet, but I just think we really need to focus on staying within the confines of the pallet. Guys, I promise you, with liquids, it is so important to stick to that finger's width. Anything more than that, and you're going to get this lean out. Now, one thing I probably would have done, since I knew my Tropicana was hanging out, I would not have matched up with the case. We're actually even hanging off more than we should. I would have actually came in the amount that I'm hanging off. So if I'm hanging off an inch, I'm coming back in an inch, and I'm going to slide everything back over again to counteract that weight. We kept stacking on the case that's hanging off the pallet, and we're causing this case to buckle because of it. So really pay attention to that. This is a beautiful looking pallet, but I mean, that is a huge no-no. Always want to come back in when you have liquid. But other than that, man, just a great job keeping our sour creams or whatever they are in the middle, keeping our boxes on the outside. You did a great job. Here, guys, great utilization of a slip sheet. I just noticed this case upside down. I promise you guys, there is nothing good of putting liquid upside down. I will never, ever, ever, ever put liquid upside down, and never did. But the slip sheet, I love it on top of these clear cases. So if you guys want to use a slip sheet on top of clear cases, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. All right, another beautiful looking dairy pallet. The only thing I don't like is this big hole right here. I tell you guys, with weight and low on your pallet, referring to the base, that we should be filling out those holes as much as possible. And all that does is just separating cases. So if we would have just separated this case, and then we could have just took one of these cases up here and squeezed it into the gap just to give us a little bit more reassurance. But yeah, that case right there, I just would have slid over a little bit and possibly stuck something in here, maybe this, or, we could have got something to fit in there, but it's not going to fit there if we don't separate these cases. So just remember to separate your cases. But other than that, look at that, guys. Plastic pallet, stayed right on the pallet, nothing bowing, just a perfect pallet. Big cases on the corners. I probably would have faced these cases in. I love facing cases towards the middle of this pallet. I just feel like it builds a strong pallet. But other than that, I don't like this here in the middle. That's my cross and T videos I talk about all the time. It's up higher on the pallet. That's fine. But when you do this, see, so we always want to look for an opportunity to come back into the middle. So when we're stacking a tower like this, me personally, I'm always looking for a case like this, a big case to come back towards the middle of the pallet, to try to get that weight to come off the corner. And we can't do that if we're putting big cases in this direction of the pallet. That's why I always say cases should be pointing in with a thin middle. When you do a thick middle, you're forcing yourself to have corners to fall over. All right, guys, right here is something a little bit different product than we usually look at. Redwood, blue wood, all day long if you're allowed to use it. Great base. I love it. Just tuck a can in the corner. We got this, box coming back in just to take some pressure off of this corner. I love it. This here, just sticking this case here. See how we're leaning with this, and this is a lot of weight. So we got Ken salad dressing. I would have just probably took this box and moved it in a little bit and centered it underneath these cases so we don't have a rock going. Now we're done with the pallet. We're going to wrap it up. It's not going to go anywhere. But let's say we're not done and we have to build the rest of this back here. All right, let's say we had 2 full pallets and we're building another second pallet. I would definitely slide this in the center of these cases, or better yet, I would just take this case and get it the hell out of there and drop all these down flat on top of the cans. Remember, guys, don't be afraid to move one case to make your pallet that much better. So that's exactly what I would do. Take this case out, drop all these down, take the brown case and put it on top, and you're not going to have any problems. He's done. End of story. But a good tip, guys, don't be afraid to move a case twice to just make the integrity of your pallet that much stronger. I also want to point out one more thing on this pallet back here. So I always say I like big cases on the corner, but those big cases on the corners need to have a nice surface to stack on. So we got a nice big case right here. See how nice and big and flat that is? Now let's say we took the rule. Okay, so let's say we were in a section where this case right here was the biggest case. Well, I'm not putting it on the corner because it's so narrow. Unless I can get another case to equal this, then I'll do it. But I'm always looking for big, flat cases to stack on the corners. And I love how we chose this box over that one. So always keep your big cases, big flat cases on the corners, and try to stay away from the narrow cases for a corner piece. All right, guys, this picture's a little foggy, but here's another base that I hate stacking on, especially whenever it's a back under. So, we got, God, I've been out of the warehouse for a little bit here, but let's just say they're a 10 block. I don't even know what they are. But let's say we come up and we need 30 watt, or they're a 10 block. I think they might even come in 11 block. I'm not 100% sure. But we need 3 layers. All right, we're going to back under this. The thing that sucks is when you back under a pallet of water to start your order off, they're always condensed. They're never taking up the whole surface of the pallet unless it's a bigger case. So we're already starting with a problem. Thankfully, this pallet was not too big. And then we got thankfully, we had boxes to put on top of this because that is just going to make the top of this that much more sturdy. But me personally, I hate this. Usually this stuff is column stacked, which it does look like it's column stacked. What I like to do is take the whole row and I take the couple seconds and I will slide everything out to the end of the pallet if I can do that. And I will throw a light thing of shrink wrap on. And this is where, after we do that, you could throw a slip sheet on if you would like to do so. That'd be a good opportunity to use your slip sheet because we're going to have some gaps in there if we slide the columns out to get to the perimeter of the pallet. Selecting to the perimeter of the pallet, not less, not more, is so crucial in selecting, guys. You're going to build those good pallets. Other than that, great looking pallet. They're not easy to do when you have all these clear packagings like this. So you did a good job and you made it to the wrap machine. That's all that matters. All right, guys, this one right here, another good dairy pallet, or no, it's not either. It's a frozen pallet. Another good pallet though. Guys, just sticking to the basics, man. Look at this. Small cases in the middle, higher corner, lower inside, even if it's minute. I always stick to the basics. But just bigger cases on the corners, smaller cases in the middle, sticking within the confines of the pallet. Tie in when you can. We're not forcing tie-ins. Right here, you can see we didn't force a tie-in because we column stacked this all the way up. We tied in this section, but we didn't tie in this section, but we waited for our opportunity. And it looks like we didn't get it all the way up until here, but it's a great looking pallet. And I promise you guys, when you get boxes like this should be a quick pallet. This should go really fast. Especially when you have a plan and you have that system and I need high corners, low inside. I need to put little cases in the middle. I don't want them on my corners. When you start learning your system, you're going to start flying through these orders. All right, these last 2 pictures that we're going to look at are pizza boxes. I just, someone drew an arrow on here. I think Sticky Oxtail, I do want to say thank you again. Guys, if you did not see my interview with Sticky Oxtail, that is over there for you guys to watch. I did a couple interviews, and my interview with him was pretty good. He's a TikTok creator, and he's also very active over on Discord, and he was helping somebody out because I never selected pizza boxes. But guys, when you have a gap like this, all right, so I think he was saying maybe turn something up on its side. When you have a gap like this, you can get away with it. Just counteract the weight. All right. So if I have a gap here, I'm putting a heavy case over here and I'm making sure this is light case. That's the first thing that I would do if I had this situation right here. All right, guys, so here's the last pallet I want to look at. It looks like, no, this is a different order. I think it's the same selector, though. We got the pizza boxes again. So I told you I liked bigger cases on the corners and smaller cases on the inside. Now, we got this corner going here, and we had our pizza boxes, obviously, first. I think these run pretty much the width of the pallet. I think we're a little short because we're probably level on the other side of the pallet. What I want to say is if you got your pizza boxes first and you stacked it in the middle like this, that's fine. But don't be, once again, I'm going to say, don't be afraid to move a couple cases to make your pallet work. So what would I have done is I'm going to stack these pizza boxes and I'm going to start looking at every pizza box. Where is my opportunity that I'm going to get an actual time to tie this corner in so I could stop stacking a small corner like this? So what I'm going to do is probably about right here after this. So we got the oil, we got this case right here. Well, we got a bag up here. We got plenty of bags. So let's say I threw these pizza boxes are thrown. I get right here and I get this, guys. Once again, something that takes a few seconds and can really make your pallet just go that much faster towards the end. So right here, I'm taking these 2 pizza boxes out. I'm going to slide them out. I'm going to drop this bag down. And if you see that, the bag's probably going to be pretty level. And this is a bakery bag. You can move those contents around. You can flatten it out. I would definitely bring that bakery bag down and then take my pizza boxes and tie in this way if you can, if it would work that way. And like I said, I don't know how big these pizza boxes are, but I would have definitely took the opportunity to tie something in right here. Or even put your bakery bag down and take these pizza boxes and put them on the corner. Now we got our big corner again. So the only thing I want to say is with boxes, I don't select these, but as long as you don't have direct pressure, which it doesn't look like we're getting that, because that would be like from a bucket. Like to me, a heavy bakery bucket right on top of these pizza boxes might damage the top box. But with all this weight being distributed, throughout the boxes, you're not going to have that problem. So right here, 2 pizza boxes, I would have slid out. I would have dropped the bakery bag down. I would have been level again. I would have picked up my 2 pizza boxes, put them on the corner, and all these small cases would have been in the middle. That's what I would have done. Guys, remember, problem solving while you're stacking, especially lower, it's not only going to help you on that order move faster, for taking a few seconds to just correct something, but it's also going to give you that knowledge that the next time I come to this situation, you're automatically just going to do it. So what takes you longer now is going to be like this whenever you start getting the hang of your system. And that's learning a system is what I just said. All right, guys, I know that was pretty long, but I really want to try to kick out a lot of good information in these these videos that I do. I'm probably not going to be putting out as many videos as I usually do, just because I am so busy on eBay, and you guys hear me say it all the time. I'm trying to go with what works, but at the same time, I like helping people. So please, I hope you guys watch the videos all the way through, especially if you're a new selector. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.